What's going on, peoples? What's happening? Uh, I'm doing. I'm almost finished. I'm doing a house stick from up at Havana Cigars. You know, once again, he probably has some of the best house sticks I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in the Atlanta area, you know what I'm saying, stop by. Holler, tell Rafa, James told you to come through and, take a picture with the Indian, you'll be good, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things, when you come in, if you're new, he has like a 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" Indian in there. So everybody takes pictures with the Indian, so that's something that you have to do. What I want to talk about is three topics, and I'm kind of, you know, uh, gonna curve back from a lot of the stuff like that because I don't want to keep going over the same thing, and it's something that is dear to my heart because it's just crazy. Um, the first part is going to be the youth. We're going to talk about the youth. The second part, we're going to talk about the men. And then the third part is we're going to talk about the females. And I want to be completely focused on each subject and each matter. I really do. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the youth, the YNs. And when I say youth, I'm talking about anyone that's between, from a child really up until about 25. Because, that's the youth. They either YNs or beginner YN. They got the beginner starter pack on them. That's what they are. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be really, really mindful of that. I'm sitting out, enjoying myself, smoking my cigar. And these three young kids are, I guess they're going back and forth. And when I was coming up, it was just certain things that we just didn't do. If there was adults around, we wasn't vocal. Now we might look cursed. We cursed a little bit, but it was never around adults. Because out of that, we gave that much respect to adults. My grandmother, just to show how it was. My grandmother never saw me pick up a beer can or any type of alcohol. She never saw me pick up a cigar. She never saw me pick up a drink of anything or a smoke of anything. So, and that was just out of respect. I just never would, have, everything was yes ma'am, no ma'am. It was a lot of respect, man. We, morality-wise, is we done messed up with this youth. We have truly entitled and had them believe that they can sit here and do whatever. But to get back to the story, I'm out chilling, smoking my cigar, doing what I do. Listening to the day and the minutes flow by. And these three kids out there, they going at it. They cussing, they calling B's and P's and C's and D's, F, G, H, I, Z's all the way down. Every alphabet there is, they call it. And where does that end? Because those youth are going to grow up to be adults. They're going to grow up to be young adults if they are able to make it to that point. Let's be realistic. We're going to lose so many in the battle. We're going to lose so many to the system. You know, we have got to do something to kind of curb this, stop it. You know, parents, please be a parent. Stop trying to be these kids' friends. Be a parent. Raise your children before the system has to. Or raise your children before you have to go out there and put your child on a t-shirt. And nobody wants to do that. If you care about your child, raise your child with some sense. Please. Because we're losing this battle. Stop thinking everything is cute. Stop thinking the boots on the ground is going, you know, you see your little girl sitting there with her boots in the ground and thinking that shit is cute. It's not. Because why is she doing that? Why is she dancing like that? It is not cute. And then y'all wonder why they come up and start cussing y'all out, talking to you any kind of way. And remember, these are going to be the people that's determining whether or not you're going to be in a home or you're going to be staying with somebody. Let that shit ponder on you for a minute. Think about that for a minute. These kids that you are out here raising are going to be the same ones that has to take care of you and come by and see you and check on you when you get older. If you make it to be old. Because, let's be real, we're going to lose some casualties of war. A lot of it is going to be based upon something that could have been taken care of. We got to do a better job. Last night, I wake up to, you know, I'm in Atlanta. In Atlanta right now, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. On top of the heat, it's hot. And what happens is that around, I guess, 1:30, you know, I'm not too far from it. I didn't hear anything because I was asleep, you know. I'm an old man. I gotta get my rest. Try to get my rest. I guess there was some pow that went around, and 11 people got hit. One of them expired. One of them in critical. I don't know what the word is going with the other that's critical. At what point do you just come through and just shoot up a spot? Don't care who you hit. You don't care who life you put in jeopardy. What's the old saying? Keep knocking on the devil's door. One day he might open it up and let you in. And we can talk big and bad. We don't care. We don't give a, you know what I'm saying, all that. But when you're in that hospital bed, the one thing that you want to do is you want to live. I don't know nobody that sits back and it has been in a hospital bed for whatever the situation may be, whether it's for a pow shot or just a sickness. And they said, you know, they sitting there talking about, go ahead and take me on out. No. The reason why you go to the hospital is because you want to get better. Let that ponder. So, if you want to get better, why are you out here doing reckless stuff? Why are you out here doing reckless things? it's, I don't understand it. I really don't, you know. And, you know, I try to mentor the kids. I try to talk to kids. I try to, and you sit back and based upon the conversation, you already know, you be like, this one might not make it. This one might not make it. That one over there think he's slick. This one over here is confused. This one over here is so afraid that he'll just do anything that he can to just be accepted. We need to create more young leaders. We need to create more men and boys and girls that value their life, value their body, value their mind. When did it change to the point where being smart or being educated became a bad thing? I grew up in the rap era. I did. I love rap. I love hip hop. I love rap. You know, from a guy that makes music and produces beats and do all that kind of stuff, I love the melodies. Sometimes I can do without the words. You know, it just changes everything. I mean, hey, listen, whatever you do is whatever you do. I'm not knocking it. You know, but I want to say, you know, we went from a time where you was trying to tell a story to a time where we went into Black power, Black pride. Then we went into reaching out to our motherland. Then we went to gangster. And gangster includes a lot of different things. It includes, you know, G activity, 211s, 187s, you know, all them numbers that go in codes. That's what we started experiencing. Then we go to trap, and now we're doing everything. Everything's about selling. You know, pimping, macking. Not even pimping and macking, just tricking, scamming. You know, when you got young people sitting there talking about they don't want a guy that works a 9 to 5. They want a guy they want a D-boy. Wow. And that's what we're teaching our young daughters. Because at the end of the day, I guess they think that they won't get caught up because they're female. And they know that they're going to get the easy road out of it. If something was to pop off, they're going to get the lesser of time. They're going to get, they may be able to get an opportunity to work a plea bargain, you know. But now you got these super duper aggressive young ladies. And they're out here acting like dudes. They're trying to buck up on dudes. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, back in the day when I was coming up, you had a couple of females that were, I mean, you knew that if you go running over there, you better make sure that you pack the lunch, because she gonna give you everything that you want. Listen, we all grew up around that. We all saw the fights. We all, ooh, don't let her whoop your, yeah. We done seen them. But now we're at a point where it's just super duper aggressive. Super duper aggressive. And this is the thing that I want you young ladies to know. Whatever you give is what you're going to get. If you give aggression, if you're dealing with a guy out there like that, he's going to give you that same energy. Because just as females have gotten super duper aggressive, the guys have gotten super duper whoop on that ass, or emotional. And that's a scary thing when you got a man that's an emotional man. Because when you're dealing with a young guy, young kid, they don't know how to ration out their emotions. Their brains are not fully developed enough to the point where they can identify, let this go. Let me chill. You know what I'm saying? He ain't put his hands on me, anything like that. And then when something happens, you know, we as a parent sitting up in the house, rolling up, cussing, drinking, and you let the streets watch your kids. If you let the street watch your kids, you already know where they're gonna go. To the streets. Because that's who raised them. So please, let's stop this foolishness. Let's try to rehash and recap and revert and review and reset our parenting skills. Please, before you get that phone call, or before you get that and listen, when they're gone, they're gone. It ain't an amount of t-shirts that you can buy. It ain't amount of wristbands that you can buy, hats that you can buy. It ain't amount of pages that you can create that's gonna bring that back. So please, take care of that before them streets take care of it. Because the streets don't love you. And the streets don't care. They don't care. Smoke well. Enjoy content, you know, reply, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. This is the first one. I'm just gonna do short, brief ones and kind of go from there. I'm not gonna stay long with you guys. I hope that as parents you listen to what it was that was said, and we identify some of the issues and concerns that are out here. And some of the issues and concerns that are in our home. Because that's where it starts. Smoke well, my friends.